The art of warfare.
Member uniform 673-12-09-571, over.
Hello, this is Dreamcap, and welcome to the fourth video in my series on bare bones mission making in DCS World. In today's mission we're going to have a look at controlling AI, so making computer-controlled NPC, if you will, units move around in the mission on the battlefield and possibly affecting what happens during your mission. So we're gonna go into the mission editor and load up the old mission that we had previously, the demo MP mission. There we go. And for this purpose we're gonna borrow the tanks that we previously used for targeting practice, really. So I'm gonna move these over to just around this bridge, and I'm going to give them a couple of new waypoints. The waypoint system is what we have down here. So I'm going to click add, so I can add new waypoints, and then I'm going to click on the road and we'll get a new waypoint. Now, since the last waypoint that we set up here was set as on road, the new one will also be on road, and that means that whatever track we find will go along one of the regular roads in on the map. Of course, we can also choose to make something off-road. So we can, for instance, go like this. And we can also add several others. And apart from going on-road and off-road, we can also select, as long as we're not going on-road, we can select what kind of formation these should be going in. So let's say, for instance, that we want from this point, we want them to go in a V formation and then continue on along the shoreline. I'm actually gonna take this and move it back a bit, and then let's hop in and see what actually happens. Also, one other thing, if I click one of these, you see that I can set a bunch of different other things. For instance, the speed, I can set an ETA if I want that, and I can also set various other measures. Now, I cannot change the altitude of a ground unit. Naturally, it's going to follow the ground. But we'll get to that when we get into air units. So let's get this one up from 20 to 50 kilometers per hour. Let's see, for instance, how high we actually can get them. 67 kilometers per hour. That's pretty fast. So let's save and run, start, and then we'll have a look at the ground units, how the tanks are actually moving. So I'm gonna hop into one of my and pressing F7 is gonna take me to see the ground units that I have placed. And we see here that they are advancing on the bridge. They're actually taking it a bit slow over the bridge, which the bridge layers will probably appreciate. We'll speed up the system a bit. There we go. And now they should pretty soon leave the road. Here we go. And now we can see that they are actually following about the road, or pretty much exactly the road that I gave them. Pretty soon they should come up to the next waypoint and go out into the V formation. There we go. And then they start moving ahead. And they're gonna keep this formation as long as it's possible with respect to the terrain. The only real problem for these would be if they got some kind of shoreline or river or other body of water in between them. So I'm going to stop right there, and we're going to have a look just so we can clearly see that this is working the way it's supposed to. You can naturally, as I said, do the same thing with an air unit. Let's say, for instance, that we want to put a drone out on the field. So the United States, we're going to choose the MQ-9 Reaper, and well, high is good enough. And I'm going to have it, when we begin the mission, I'm going to have it right over here. And here we see that we have it at a turning point 2,000 meters above mean sea level. I can also choose to have it above ground level if I know that the ground is going to fluctuate and I want to see how far above the actual point on the ground that I spawn this aircraft. The speed 400. Starting time, of course, is going to be 12 noon because it can't just hang. So let's give it a little flight plan, like so. And that's going to be pretty much it. I think we can actually let it go over and land at Gudata once we're done. Also, since this is a drone and we want to use the drone to actually get some footage, we may not want it to have it 2 kilometers up in the air, or about 7,000 feet for those so inclined. So I'm gonna take this one down to about, let's say 400 meters. That's about 1,500 feet. So that should give us a good view from the Predator drone or the Reaper drone. Here we go, start. And once we get in, I'm gonna hop around and here's our drone. And again, down at 400. But we also see that it's actually climbing pretty steeply. And the reason for this is, of course, that I put it at 400 on the first waypoint, but now it's going to the second waypoint, and the second waypoint was still at 2,000. And so we can see that it's actually going to climb up there. And if we hurry this up a bit, we see that it reaches 2,000 and then turns on from waypoint number 2 to waypoint number 3. And then on through the clouds and back towards Gudata Airfield. And I'm going to stop it right there. And that's pretty much how easy it is to add an AI unit in DCS. I'm going to start off with something that many people find pretty handy, and that is how to add an AWACS aircraft. Let's say that the Russians here have an AWACS aircraft. So we'll choose Russia, we'll choose an airplane of the type AWACS. AGS 37 is not going to be an AWACS. There we go, an A50. And we'll plop it down right there. And then we're going to give it kind of a flight plan. And what we can do here is we can give it either a real flight plan where we just put a bunch of waypoints like this. We'll see here that starting at 12, this is going to reach the last waypoint at about a little over 4 p.m., which should be enough, but we really don't know. So what we would like to do then would be to add a waypoint action. And the waypoint action, this is really any kind of action that an aircraft will do as it reaches a certain waypoint in its flight plan. We see here that it already has the AWACS waypoint action added, since it is an AWACS aircraft. So what we can do is add another one, and we can tell it, I want you to orbit, and in a circle pattern, and let's say that you orbit at 500 kilometers per hour, which is about 270-ish knots at an altitude of 2,000 meters. We can even set that, yeah, we want to do this until the time is more than 12:15. These things they can get kind of complicated. Take it easy with them, but using the orbit specifically for an AWACS aircraft like this is very handy. So there we go, and we'll hop back in just to have a look at how this is actually functioning. And we can see that the plane is actually air, and it will circle. I can pull it up like so, and it'll be there circling until it's basically until it's out of fuel, at which point it will, depending on your settings, will either return to base or simply just burn off its entire fuel and then crash. Of course, you can set a condition, same as we did with the orbit. You can set that when you're on bingo fuel, I want you to return to base. I'm not going to go over that now, but just know that that is something that can be done. You can use this opportunity to actually try it for yourself, see if you can find that setting. And that is really all I intended to show regarding how to control and set up AI in a mission, in a multiplayer mission in DCS World. I hope you find this useful, and I look forward to viewing all your missions as you make them along the way. And until next time, I wish you a good day, a good night, a good whatever.